Easy Vegan Lentil Sloppy Joes. This is a recipe by Minimalist Baker. It's got all your classic seasonings and flavors of sloppy joes, except we're swapping lentils for beef. And lentils are super protein packed, fiber packed, and this makes just a really nice warm dish. Lentil Sloppy Joes has just a couple steps, and we could shortcut this with canned lentils instead of dry lentils, but I love black lentils. I think they make a really nice, like, meaty kind of texture for this recipe. So I'm gonna cook these lentils, just boil some water, add the lentils, let them simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then we're going to saute the veggies and then mix everything together and let it simmer. We're making lentils, not beans. You could add beans to this recipe. Sorry, that's my cat, Bean. This recipe is just lentils, but you could substitute beans or do a combination of beans and lentils. But let's get started. So over here, I warmed up my water in a tea kettle, or you could just boil it right on the stove. We'll turn our pan on high heat. And then add our black lentils. Black lentils are also a little bit more specialty, so I found these at Whole Foods. You can also find them online. But brown lentils, green lentils, red lentils are easily accessible at most typical grocery stores. The main difference with red lentils is that they're gonna break down a lot more, whereas the brown lentils, green lentils, or black lentils are gonna stay a little bit more intact. But this is an incredible source of protein, incredible source of fiber. If you're not accustomed to eating lentils, they might cause a little GI distress, so you really wanna build up that gut tolerance. So maybe you just try a little portion of lentils at a time as you build your way up to eating a full lentil sloppy joe. Go ahead and chop our veggies. So we have onion, red bell pepper, and garlic. You could also do carrot, or green bell pepper. Hey, Pico. All right, just gonna chop this up. And you might wanna chop it into, just smaller diced cubes, because otherwise it just might not be as nice to have thick onion and pepper pieces in the mixture. Okay. And then I have some fresh garlic. You could also get by with some garlic powder or leave it out if you didn't want that. I'm taking out the center of the garlic. Some people say that might help with acid reflux a little bit, or it just might have a different taste, so that can help. I do think fresh garlic makes a little bit of a difference flavor-wise than garlic powder, but it is an extra step, so weigh out those pros and cons. All right, my water is boiling, so we're gonna go ahead and add the lentils. Cook those for about 20 to 30 minutes or until they're a nice soft texture. We really want the lentils or beans to kind of melt in our mouth. That's how, that's the texture that we want to go for. Okay, I also have my red bell pepper. Any kind of bell pepper works. Yeah. Now, I'm chopping these by hand, but if you've ever seen those vegetable choppers that you can just kind of put into the chopper and it'll do a lot of the work for you, those can really come in handy. You can also buy pre-chopped peppers. And I think our lentils are really coming to a boil here, so I'm gonna turn my heat down to a little bit lower so it's a rolling boil. With the lentils, actually, we wanna keep the lid tilted Covered is fine too, but technically I think they like it tilted. If you like it super spicy, you could also throw a jalapeno in there or some sort of hot pepper. But if you're feeding other people who might not like it, then maybe save those hot peppers for topping. I was never trained in knife skills, so if you're looking to like how to chop an onion or how to chop a bell pepper, just type that into Google for proper technique. Okay, we're gonna put our pot on medium heat. Put a little oil in the pan. Now, if you're trying to cut down on oil, you could also use a water or vegetable broth to saute. It works really well for sauteing vegetables. And it's heating up. Let's go ahead and put these in the pot. And we'll just want to cook these veggies for about 5 to 10 minutes until they're softened. And then we'll turn the heat on low because the lentils are going to take a little bit longer than these veggies. Okay, so once the veggies are softened and we're throwing the lentils in, we'll add the rest of our ingredients. So I have just a regular tomato sauce here, and then Worcestershire sauce. Note, if you're going for more vegan, plant-based options, the Worcestershire has like anchovies, I think, typically. So just want to make sure it's vegan. The one from Whole Foods I found is, or Annie's is another brand that makes a vegan version. And that's gonna give it a just nice savory flavor. The tomato sauce is really high in vitamin C. And then we have our seasonings, which are going to give it all that flavor that's typical of Sloppy Joes. So I have smoked paprika. This is optional, but it is gonna give it a nice little smoky flavor, or you could use a liquid smoke. And then I have some cumin, some chili powder, and today I have ketchup actually. It calls for coconut sugar, but I like the ketchup in there because it's gonna give it some sugar and a sweetness, but also just a nice extra bump in flavor. So that is it. All right, our lentils are cooked. Like I said, if you wanna skip this step and use canned, this recipe is a whole lot easier, but we're gonna add them to the pot here. And then the rest of our ingredients, the tomato sauce. I'm gonna get a little. Our ketchup, cumin, chili powder, and smoked paprika. And our vegan Worcestershire. A good mix. Oh, looks and smells amazing. And we just want to let it simmer together for about 5 to 10 minutes at least to let the flavors really marinate and blend together. If you're super hungry, you probably could just eat it. Also, what's gonna happen right now is it might cook down a little bit more, so that will be great and easier to kind of be like compact for the sandwiches. Okay. All right, it's cooked down. You could always adjust the flavors if you wanted a little bit more salty or savory or more heat or more sweet. You can adjust those seasonings as needed. And also, you know, this is really quick cooking, but the more that we let it simmer, typically the better of those flavors are going to come out. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a container. And there we have it, lentil sloppy joes. Now, this recipe stays good in the fridge for up to 5 days, maybe 7 days at most. And it also freezes well, so it can stay good up in the freezer for about up to a month, which makes it really easy to pull it out, thaw it for a quick and easy meal sometime later on. But I'm gonna make a sandwich out of it. So I have a sprouted whole grain bun. I also have Minimalist Baker's Easy Vegan Coleslaw on the side, and I did make a video for that. To pair with it. It also goes really well on the sandwich, but when it goes on the sandwich, it is extra sloppy. I mean, sloppy joes, it's in the name, they're gonna be messy, but it definitely adds another touch, but adds a nice creaminess and crunchiness as well. Smells so good. Classic sloppy joe flavors with lentils. Okay, so now we're going to make our sandwich. All right. Mine isn't super thick today, getting a little impatient, but the more that you let it cook down, the thicker it will get. There it is. Sloppy joes always makes me think of Billy Madison movie when Adam Sandler's going through the lunch line and the lunch lady's like, I made them extra sloppy for you. All right, I'm gonna put some coleslaw on the side because this tastes really, really good with it. All right, ready? It will also thicken a lot as it cools. Mine is hot off the stove. I really wanted to eat it. Okay, so if it's not going on the sandwich, I like to take a bite. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So good. So satisfying. This is a great recipe if you want to bring back those typical, childhood recipes. Usually a family favorite. I hope you try it and enjoy it. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe to follow along for more.